Okay, so what we're going to do now is run through some ideas of exercises you can do with a partner in the postnatal classes. Any of the ones from the pregnancy class, obviously you can do as well. You'll probably even start with some of those ones with the bands and things. They can be really nice. Or the ones that we did in standing in pregnancy, you can bring down into kneeling and half kneeling, whatever seems appropriate for your clients who's in the group at the time. But what we're going to start with is a bit of balance work. And I find that in the postnatal population, we often, I don't know if you found this, Megan, postnatal have no idea where we are in space. It's like we had all this weight out the front and this nice tension on the abdominal wall, and then that's all gone, and it's like I don't know where I am anymore. So balance work is really important in pregnancy. So as a netballer, Megan, you should be very good at this. You're going to stand on your right leg and lift your left leg off the floor. And then what I'm going to do is just ask her to high five me or low five me in different directions. So in an early postnatal class, I'll get them just to sort of stick around this kind of range where they're just reaching a little bit outside of their center of gravity, but it's not too hard. And probably, like 15, 20 of those, and then changing legs. And then as they advance, we're getting them to go, a little bit further away, so they have to counterbalance with their other leg as well. And really start to challenge the balance. You relax a bit. And I like to bring balls as well in the classes, and we do quite a lot of throwing. And again, it's a similar idea of starting within this small range, and then as they're getting more confident, is really starting to reach in all different directions, and that's very fun. What we're going to do next, though, is we're going to hold hands. And I find that most people are okay with this. You might occasionally have people who don't like to touch other people, which is fine. They can use a wall. We're both going to stand on our right leg, and we're going to hold on for balance, and we're both going to do some squats. So we're going to imagine we're sitting down on a chair behind us, trousers allowing. Okay, and then we might just do 10 single leg squats using our partner for balance. And the nice thing about using a partner is because you can actually lean back a bit, you can often go a little bit deeper. So I wouldn't start with this in the early postnatal, but I certainly wouldn't have a problem adding it a couple of months down the track. And then we would obviously change legs, and I'll typically do 1 to 2 sets of this one. Some of us find it a little bit easier on one leg than the other. So we'll sit back into a little squat and come back up again, okay? And then while we're here, we'll typically then move on to calf raises. So come back to the right leg again, and then we'll go up as high as we can on our tippy toes, and down. And up and down. And especially for the runners, we really want to have nice calf strength. So what you could do is start with sort of, 10 to 15 straight leg ones. And then if you just go into like a little bit of a knee bend, then we can do the bent knee calf raise as well. So you keep the knee bent, but you still push all the way up into your tippy toes, lifting the whole weight of the body up and down and rest. And so that's really nice to strengthen the lower part of the body. Okay, what we're going to do now is I'm going to grab some sandbells. Okay, so I have a pair of 2 kilogram sandbells. Sandbells are really nice because they just feel nice to grip and hold. So these are really fun to play around with. We're not going to go too far apart because we don't have enough space here in front of the camera, but hopefully it'll give you a bit of a gist anyway. So if you take a step back, Megan, I think you'll still be in range. Okay, you're going to throw low, I'm going to throw high. Okay, go. And then once they've got a bit of a rhythm, then we want to pick up the pace a bit. Okay, now stop. Now we're going to swap. So you go high, I'll go low. Cool, okay. And so you can play around with things like these, and that's really, really fun to do with partners. Back to back. Oh yeah, that's the other one I was going to do. We're going to go back to back now. Okay. Now we're going to go here.
Oh yeah.
And then you're going to pass it this way. And then we're going to go up. And then we're going to go down. There we go. So we're going this way. You can't say left, right because it's different for each of us. And then once we've got that, then obviously again we can pick up the pace a little bit. And rest. And sometimes that gets a little bit crazy, but good fun. All right, another one I like to do as a bit of an aerobic exercise is actually with the arms. So what we're going to do is have your left foot slightly in front. Yep, and then you're going to hold me in a monkey grip like this. And we're just going to bend our knees a little bit. So I'll usually call out 3 levels for this one. Have you done this one before? Okay. Yeah, yeah. So when I say level 1 is really just about getting some nice rotation through the trunk. That was a nice click in my body. And we'll be chat. And then I'll say, right, level 2. And that means just take it up a notch. And we'll get a little bit less rotation, but a little bit more speed through the upper body. And then when I yell, don't go yet, when I yell level 3, that means to go as fast as they can, but it'll only be for 10 seconds. So level 3, go. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and back to level 1. Okay, and then we'll often cycle that through a few times. And I'm sure it's my cold that's making me breathless there, Megan. But no, it's actually quite hard work, and it's really fun. So with that one, I try and remind women when we're doing the level 3 that they shouldn't be like, yeah, so what are you doing on the weekend? Like that's that signal to work hard. So by the time you hit level 3, you're going at it. Okay, so I call that arm cycles, but you can call them whatever you like. Now the next one we're actually going to do on the ground. So I don't think we've got any dog poo around us. I really hope not. So we're going to do a bridging exercise. This one, it's like a normal bridge, but you're going to put your feet on your partner's knees. I'm really hoping it should be all right. So if Megan lies back into a crook lying position, so just lying on your back with your knees bent. Oh, you can do that? Yep, cool.
I'll be there.
So the first time people do this, just let them know that even though they feel like they're going to be crushing their partner's knees, it honestly doesn't feel like much at all. So Megan's job is to keep her knees still. I'm going to come up into a bridge and down. And I'll usually get each person to do it, say 10 repetitions. And then depending on what level they're at, from there we might do some pulses. Or for those who are a little bit more advanced, they might come up into a single leg bridge, which is actually quite challenging because it's not a stable base. And then of course you can play around with what you want to do with the hands as well. If you want to take the hands away, and you can also add a bridge. So Megan, do you want to just try some of the first version? So just always warn your participants that they're not actually going to crush the kneecaps of their friend. It honestly doesn't feel like much at all from this end, okay? But it's quite challenging and fun. The next thing we're going to do, which you're just gonna love, Megan, is some push-up high fives. So in the postnatal population, you will have, for the earlier postnatal, I'd tend to start the push-up position just like in pregnancy. So with this, if the distance between my knees and my hands is quite short, all I need to do to challenge my upper body is just bring my bum forward a little bit, and that's actually going to put enough weight through my upper body to give me a challenge, right? So if I keep my bottom back, like I can do this all day. It's nothing. I've got to bring my hips forward, and for a lot of postnatal women, you can do that. They'll get that upper body challenge, but they won't have too much strain through the abdominal wall. For those that are a little bit stronger, you want to bring them more into a plank position, like this. And so then you're going to get them come down and up, but just play around with that distance. That's probably one of the easiest ways to change the amount of load going through the abdominal wall. So what Megan and I are going to do is we're both going to do a push-up. So whatever level you feel happy with, and then we high five, or low five really, and then we change. And so obviously for those who are a little bit further down the track, they may want to do like full push-ups, and that's fine too. Okay, so you just choose a level that's appropriate for them. And then the last one I want to show is one that certain people used to get ridiculously competitive with. Now, I would often do this with an over ball, which is a little soft Pilates style ball. So that's one way you can do it, but it's really fast and people tend to get really competitive. The other option is to use like a weighted sandbell. So what Megan and I are going to do, we're going to come into a plank position. So on knees or on feet, whatever we feel happy with and feel safe with. And then what I've got to do is I've actually got to put this between her hands and she's got to not let me. Damn it. Ah! And then just try and get people to alternate arms so they're not always throwing with the same arms. So that's all I want to show today. Hopefully that they're helpful and fun. And I think the key thing with the postnatal clients is to challenge them, have a lot of fun, and make sure it's safe with babies around. If you're throwing things or if you have any kind of weights, you've really got to have a good idea of the environment around you for safety. All right, I hope that's helpful. If you've got any questions, bob them below.